What's up, you guys? R3, Dubby, how you guys doing? How's everybody doing today? Ahmed, you said maintaining the agenda is our top priority. No, there won't be any agenda scaling here today. Or at least not on my end. Ida, how you doing? You said Kizaru's the stronger of the two. Kagito, what's up? You just ordered pizza, that's great. Jotaro, how you doing? Ashura, how you doing? What's up, guys? I've been out of town for a minute. Had a lot of work I had to do. Still not back in town. Doing this on like a makeshift setup. I don't even have like half my stuff. I don't have a pop filter. I'm actually just using a t-shirt as a pop filter, speaking through a t-shirt. So let me know if you guys are able to hear me. Mr. Dens, how you doing? Yeah, this will be an interesting one, just using the most makeshift setup possible. Another thing is, like, when the debate portion of this starts, oh yeah, chat, let me know if you guys are able to hear me, actually. Let me see some comments if you guys can. Yeah, when the debate starts, I'm not even going to be able to see. Sure, you said you can hear me? Okay, good. So when the debate portion starts, I'm not actually going to be able to see the live chat, just because I don't even have like half my equipment to do live streams. I just wanted to do this one anyway. So during the debates, like, I'll only be replying to the super chats during the like actual debate portion. If there's any super chats, those will be the ones I read. So don't feel bad if I don't like reply to your message during the debate portion. It's just because I legitimately just can't see it. And then I just message some people in my Discord to let me know if there's a super chat that happens. Then I'll like flip over and then look at those, okay? Okay, yeah, you guys can hear me? All right. So, yeah, I wanted to go ahead and just get into this debate. For today's debate, the main thing I'm going to be speaking about is Elbaf Luffy versus Kizaru. Elbaf Luffy versus Kizaru is going to be like the main thing that we're discussing today. If you want to join the live stream, right? Like, if you want to join the actual debate portion, I can show you that real quick. You go to my YouTube channel. This is a tutorial for anyone who wants to join the debate, because we're going to have an open debate on this, and then we can actually speak and like discuss who you guys think is more likely to win between Elbaf, Luffy, and Kizaru. But if you want to join the discussion, you go to my channel, and then you click on posts. Then you scroll down to this most recent post I did. It's Luffy versus Kizaru debate live stream. You click on the comments, and then you click the pinned comment. Okay, I'm also working on a video for this too. So this is something I wanted to do first and just see like if anyone has any interesting discussion points like I haven't thought of yet. So that's also part of why I wanted to do this debate right now. Okay. Because like I actually, like, I've said it a few times before, but One Piece is actually my favorite manga. I actually do like it more than Hunter x Hunter. And I started out as a One Piece YouTuber anyway, so I want to get back into One Piece power scaling on the channel. Hunter x Hunter will still be the main focus, yes, but like I want to have more more One Piece fans on the channel, because there's like a lot of stuff I could talk about, and I'm realizing like I need to post a few One Piece, actual edited One Piece videos to like get the proper viewer size that I want for these streams and stuff like that, and have more like in-depth debates. Anyway, so I'm going to get into some power scaling stuff for Elbaf Luffy. After I go through all of that, I'm going to be listing out arguments for who I think would win. Just to let you guys know, my stance on it is that I believe Elbaf Luffy is more likely to win than Kizaru would be. Egghead Luffy is its entirely own debate. it's really a completely different debate. Egghead Luffy versus Kizaru is a completely different thing, and I'll go into detail explaining why. Also, I highly recommend, if you're someone who's on Team Kizaru, I highly recommend joining the debate today. This is your best chance at beating me in a debate because I'm very sleep deprived. The speed of which I'm like thinking of stuff is slowed down. I'm so tired. Like, I only slept a few hours last night. So if you want to beat me in this debate today, right now is your best chance to do this. It's your best shot. All right. You can do it. Like, Kizaru fans, like, don't be afraid of the debate. You can do it. Okay. Like, try your best. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this. Okay. So, when we're looking at Elbaf Luffy, he's on a completely different level than what the Egghead Luffy was. He's performing things in Gear 5 that he never displayed prior to this. And there's just a bunch of different things that back that up, okay? Like, I think some people make a few misconceptions when it comes to power levels in One Piece. They think, like, unless Oda word for word writes, oh man, Luffy's become 10 times stronger, unless Oda's like basically holding their hand, telling them exactly what's happening, they don't think Luffy gets any stronger, but that's simply not the case. Something I've noticed with a lot of agenda piece stuff is that people tend to like look at these fights in a vacuum. They go into the fight and they just try to get all the evidence they could for the character they want to win, being more likely to win, but they don't actually pay attention to the entire series as a whole. So I'm just going to go in detail here. Let's start talking about it. So this Elbaf Luffy here, we see he goes into Gear 5 just to fight a like random fodder snake. Then he goes back into base form with no stated problems, drawbacks of any kind. This is something we had not seen him do in Egghead, because one of the things I see people talk about all the time is Luffy's stamina issue is like the way Kizaru would beat him, basically. To be honest with you, I did a debate poll on this, and Luffy won that overwhelmingly, but the people I were debating with, pretty much no one said, like, even the like most hardcore Kizaru fans, none of them were saying that they think Kizaru can just straight up overpower Gear 5. I didn't see any of that. What I saw most people saying is that they think that Kizaru could outlast Gear 5 and then beat him that way, and we'll talk more about that too. But what we're seeing here in Elbaf is like he's overcoming the stamina issue. I'm not saying that he's completely overcame it, but he has made clear progress. And this is like the same thing that's happened with his other previous gears. As he uses them more and more, he's getting more experience with his devil fruit, and he's making more progress like as a fighter overall. On top of that, he gets hockey blooms from every like challenging fight that he goes through that's stated by Rayleigh. So his hockey's becoming more powerful from each arc. There's also something called island buffs, which is a more debatable thing. I'm not even going to talk about that right now. It's not even needed. Because hockey blooms on their own are already really extreme, and like Luffy improving with his devil fruit mastery, these two things are like straight up shown to you very crystal clear. And those two things on their own are enough to give Luffy the more likely chance of beating Kizaru, okay? So to further just explain this point, we have Luffy going from Gear 5 back into base form with no stated drawbacks or problems, anything. And not only that, Luffy goes into Gear 4 immediately after that. This is something like a lot of Kizaru fans don't like to think about, talk about anything. This is just how One Piece power scaling goes. It's like 99% agenda. People ignore half the series and just make claims. But if you just actually pay attention to the full series, you're seeing Luffy's getting stronger from arc to arc. You're seeing in Elbaf, he's doing things he couldn't do in Elbaf, he's doing things he couldn't do in Egghead. I was debating somebody who said there's zero proof Luffy got stronger in between Egghead and Elbaf, and I'm like, brother, it's blatantly shown to us that he's stronger. He's developing mastery of Gear 4. You could argue he's already mastered Gear 4 now because he's doing mini Gear 4, something he'd never shown before. Or you could consider this like its own form, but I would just say that this is Luffy mastering Gear 4. It seems that he can use Gear 4 without any drawbacks of any kind now. This is very similar to how he mastered Gear 2, by the way, where he went from like distributing Gear 2 throughout his whole body to just focusing it into like one arm or one leg. He's doing the same thing with Gear 4 now, which is crazy. So you're seeing Luffy's mastering his devil fruit from arc to arc. You're seeing Luffy's getting hockey blooms. He's just way stronger. But this is a big counter argument to people who say Luffy's like stamina is trash. This is a big counter argument to it. In Elbaf, we see him go Gear 5, back to base, and then immediately into Gear 4, does all of that with no drawbacks. Okay? Another example, this happens a little bit later in the arc, but this one is more of a debatable thing because you could argue a little bit more time passed. But we see Luffy use his Gear 5 against Gabon, and then he goes back to base form, and he's like arguing with Zoro a few pages later about what they're going to do with Loki. And we also, like, we don't see him go into like the grandpa state where he's exhausted. But you could, like, I'll help out the Kizaru team here a little bit. You could make an argument that Oda just skipped that part, but like the fact that he did the same thing earlier in this arc, it just seems more likely that he can just do that now. Okay. Another thing, Gear 5 does not work the same way Gear 4 does. Did you guys know that, chat? Did you guys know that? Gear 5 does not work the same way Gear 4 does? Because a lot of people think that Gear 5 works exactly the same way as Gear 4. So, with, I'd argue that Gear 5 is more similar to Gear 2, actually. Okay? Because with Gear 4, when Gear 4 runs out, hits its time limit, Luffy cannot use Haki for 10 minutes. The reason Gear 4 runs out is because he's burned through his Haki, and like he can't use Haki for 10 minutes in that time frame. With Gear 5 runs out more due to stamina. Because Gear 5 is not dependent on Haki. He can use Haki while he's in Gear 5, but it's like him running out of Gear 5 isn't because he's ran out of Haki. He can just, like, we see in Wano, he can actually force himself back into it if he wills himself to. And I'm about to go more in detail with that. But in Egghead, it's like actually just verbatim stated, Gear 5 is running on food power. Like the amount of food he's eaten determines how long Gear 5 lasts. So here's a real, like, this whole debate is not even about Egghead Luffy versus Kizaru. Like I said, that's a separate debate. But something I could just say honestly, I could just say this and it kind of makes it so that even Egghead Luffy would beat Kizaru. I would just say that Kizaru didn't even fight a full Gear 5 duration. Luffy wasn't at full food power when the fight started, and there's a lot of things that like pretty much show you that. So you can make an argument that Kizaru fought like a 70% Gear 5 duration and then was still about to die. Like he was still slammed on his neck. Like if he fought a full Gear 5 duration, without all the other shenanigans that I'll go into, you could just make the argument right after White Star Gun, Luffy would have still had more energy left and just cracked it, like turned him into dust. But we'll leave that aside for now. But here's the thing about Gear 5. This scene we see in Wano, some people say that it's plot, but it's actually just a straight up direct parallel to a scene that happened back in Enies Lobby. It's a direct parallel to a scene that happened in Enies Lobby. So, and if you look at it side by side, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You said bro fed Luffy. That doesn't really change anything I just said though, Ashura. Did you listen to what I just said? I just said that you can make the argument that the Gear 5 duration that he fought wasn't even a full Gear 5 duration. I could say it was 70% of a Gear 5 duration. So it doesn't matter that he fed him. I'm saying if he fought a full 100% Gear 5 duration, Kizaru still gets hit by the White Star Gun, and then Luffy still has 30% of Gear 5 left to go. And there's a bunch of things that back that up, actually. So it's like, ask yourself, what is Kizaru going to do right after the White Star Gun if Luffy still has 30% stamina left? He's going to just get flattened. That might even give him enough time to charge up Bajrang Gun, and he's just finished. But and he didn't even use his strongest moves on Kizaru. He was using them on Saturn. But anyway, I'll save that for later. Let me focus on this scene real quick. So pay attention to this. Like, look at the paneling here. This is to debunk all the people who think Luffy being able to force himself back into Gear 5 was actually just plot. It's not. It's actually just a direct parallel to something that happened back in NES Lobby. It's a direct parallel to Luffy versus Lucci. If you look at the top panel against Luffy versus Lucci, this is Luffy forcing himself back into Gear 2, like after he had already reached his limits, basically. He's like pushing himself beyond it at the expense of his lifespan. It's like stated that he's like killing himself to do this. Like his lifespan is getting like burnt out by him forcing himself back into Gear 2 here. And a similar thing's implied with Luffy forcing himself back into Gear 5. You could just argue he's also shortening his lifespan to do it. Instead of just eating food, Luffy's shortening his lifespan to use Gear 5. There's a strong argument for it because it's literally the exact same scene. If you look at the top panel, Luffy says, "This is the end," when he fights Lucci. Against Kaido, he says, "This can't end yet." They're also in the exact same stance. This is clearly a parallel to that. Then the paneling is even the same in the second row when you look at Luffy turning back into Gear 5 and he says Pedro, and then you see Kaido saying "Be careful or you'll die." Compare that to the panel on the right where it's Luffy talking to Lucci. It's the exact same paneling. Luffy goes into Gear 2nd, smoke is like in front of his face the same exact way, and Lucci's like, "Are you really gonna burn yourself out? You'll die." It's the same exact scene. Okay, it's the same scene. It's clearly a parallel to it. It's just the real truth. A lot of people who like debate One Piece, they started reading it like 5 years ago. They don't remember a lot of this stuff. That's what's going on. Okay, and like a lot of One Piece scaling, a lot of One Piece scaling is just agenda scaling. It's not even people being honest about what they really think. They're just saying agenda. Okay, but this is just clearly what's going on here. Luffy, you can use this to make a strong argument. For anyone, I mean, I'm not even debating Egghead Luffy. This is about Elbaf Luffy, but just to help out the Egghead side, you can make an argument that Luffy could have just done this against Kizaru, forced himself back into Gear 5 at the cost of his lifespan, and you could just make the argument that he chose not to do that because his friends were there to help him. In fact, this isn't even the first time Luffy's done that. He did this in Dressrosa too. Oda says this in an SBS, where people were asking him, like, when Luffy ran out against Gear 4, against Doflamingo, and he needed 10 minutes to recharge his haki, people were asking him, like, was Doflamingo just going to win there if the other people weren't there to help him? And Oda gave this answer. He's like, well, no, like, if Luffy wanted to, he could have gotten up and ran away anyway. But he chose not to because people were there to help him, so he just chose to preserve his energy. You could make the exact same argument for the scene where Luffy runs out of Gear 5 against Kizaru. You could just say he did the exact same thing. He could have forced himself back into Gear 5 like this, but he chose not to because he was given food. You could just make that argument. Or he chose not to because Frankie helped him. Frankie, like, got him out of the way of Saturn's attacks. He didn't have to, like, burn through his lifespan to do this. Like, he just chose the more comfortable of the two options, relied on his crew, and then just ate the food that was given to him. Okay, so you could use that as a debate. All right, and then here's more things just showing you Gear 5 just runs on food. This is Luffy straight up saying that this. He runs out of Gear 5 in this left-hand panel, and he says ran out of food power. He eats food, and then he's instantly re-energized again and able to fight. We also see that happen here where he eats the food that Kizaru gave him. And the moment he finishes eating, he just goes right back into Gear 5. This is more proof that it's not like Gear 4 where he needs to wait a set amount of time. He can just go back into the form if he has food. All right, so now we're just going to focus on all of the things that Kizaru fans like to ignore in this fight. All right, for this next piece here. Okay, we're just going to focus on all the things that the Kizaru fans like to ignore. So for one, Luffy starts this fight damaged anyway. Luffy starts this fight damaged. Anyone ever just think about that? Sure, you said, yeah, he's faking to save face in front of Saturn. Do me a favor, Ashura, rewind what I just said a minute ago. That doesn't have anything to do with what I said, to be honest. But yeah, look at this scene here. So Luffy started the battle damaged against Kizaru anyway. This is something people like just kind of conveniently skip over. And here's a point I want to make. Once again, this debate isn't even about Egghead Luffy. It's about Elbaf Luffy. So if there's things you guys want to like disagree with, like point them towards a stronger, more powerful Luffy, right? Not this Egghead one. That's a completely different debate. But here's something I want to just say real quick. Every single excuse that Kizaru fans make for Kizaru getting thrown around the battlefield by Luffy, you can literally make all those the same excuses for Luffy, like not just killing Kizaru. Like all the same exact things that people say about Kizaru, you can say them all for Luffy too. Like people say Kizaru was holding back and he was nerfed. You can say the same thing about Luffy, and there's actually like I'd say the same amount of evidence to support it for Luffy. Luffy starts the fight damaged, Kizaru was not damaged. Okay. On top of that, Luffy was like in the middle of eating, and like his meal is interrupted by Kizaru. So this is showing, like, you can use this as evidence to say Luffy wasn't even at full stamina when he was fighting Kizaru. This is like the point I was making earlier, where people say like Kizaru could just outlast Luffy. You don't know that because he didn't even fight a full duration of Gear 5. Kizaru did not fight a full duration of Gear 5 anyway. Luffy's meal was interrupted. He was mid-meal when Kizaru showed up. He stops eating to go fight him, and Luffy's still damaged when he's fighting him. He had just finished fighting like a bunch of Seraphim before this. Okay, so you have a nerfed Luffy versus a Kizaru that people say is holding back because of mental nerfs. All right, and I could also, so you have a physically nerfed Luffy who when he goes into Gear 5, I debate that it's not even a full Gear 5 duration because he wasn't finished eating. We know that Gear 5, the amount of time he's in Gear 5, it's dependent on him being full, actually. So you have a Luffy who's not full, fighting a Kizaru, and he's damaged anyway. So when he goes into Gear 5, it's not a full Gear 5 duration. He's going, I'd argue it's like 70% of a Gear 5 duration. Like, there's a lot of proof that he's not full. Like, Luffy eats till he gets fat, typically. Here, he's still, like, lean, normal, while he's eating, and the meal gets interrupted. I could make an argument that he didn't even fight a 50% Gear 5 duration. And he was still, like, dominating him. Another thing people don't like to talk about is that Kizaru didn't land a single significant attack on Luffy the entire fight. In Gear 5, sorry. Like, he didn't land a single significant attack on Gear 5 the entire fight, bro. Okay, these are just all the things like Kizaru fans tend to just conveniently skip over. And then the mental nerf thing that people talk about for Kizaru, you can make the exact same claim for Luffy. I could claim Luffy's mentally nerfed. As their fight's starting, he's asking him, he says, "Why do you want to kill Vegapunk?" And then Kizaru says, "I don't want to. I don't want to kill Vegapunk." I could make an argument that this mentally nerfs Luffy because he has empathy. He's feeling bad for Kizaru and he's confused. I could make an argument that Luffy's confused by Kizaru and like that mentally nerfs him the same way Kizaru's like feeling bad and empathetic about this mission. Luffy's confused and feeling bad about fighting Kizaru because he doesn't really know what's going on. He doesn't know why Kizaru's fighting him. Like, if you want to say Kizaru's mentally nerfed, you can make the same claim for Luffy. He's mentally nerfed because he's confused. Okay, and then the next thing, we actually get this statement from Luffy. Against Kizaru, Kizaru's like, "Listen, I'm sorry, but if I spend all my time on you, I can't fulfill my mission." And then Luffy says, "Yeah, but that's my mission." So you could just make the argument that Luffy's goal is just to stall Kizaru. He's not even trying to defeat him. I could make that argument. Like, the reason I'm bringing this up is because all of the things that Kizaru fans say to defend Kizaru, you can just say the same things for Luffy plus more, to be honest. Because we know Luffy was actually physically damaged. We know Luffy wasn't at full Gear 5 power when he fought Kizaru anyway, and Kizaru did not land a single significant attack on Luffy. And the cope, I shouldn't say cope. I need to think of a nicer word to say that. It's like, the only reply people say to that on the Kizaru side is, "Oh, well, Luffy didn't hurt Kizaru either." which is just actually a blatant lie. It's my interpretation of when people say that. It's because it's such like saying that Kizaru didn't land a single significant attack on Luffy. That's such a strong point. Sorry, let me word this properly. Hold on. I was looking for a panel while I was saying this. Where's the scene where Kizaru? Yeah, right here. Okay. So let me say this clearly, right? The point that most Kizaru fans hate and just try to skip past is when you say Kizaru did not land a single significant attack on Gear 5 Luffy. That's a fact. Read the entire fight. He doesn't do it. Read the fight. I've read it many times. Read it over and over. Kizaru never, the entire fight, lands a not even one real considerable attack on Luffy. Not even one, bro. Okay, and like that is such a strong point against Kizaru that the only counters I've seen from Kizaru fans is just to lie. They lie. They say, oh well, Luffy didn't hurt Kizaru either. Really? So you think Kizaru's just like munching on a ketchup packet here? What's this panel in the bottom right look like to you? It looks like he's coughing up blood. Chat, anyone want to say anything? Is Kizaru really not hurt here? He's coughing up blood in a 2v1. He's coughing up blood in a 2v1. Anyone got anything you want to say real quick? Because when the voice chat debates start, I'm not going to be able to see this chat. So if anyone wants to try and debunk what I'm saying here, this is your chance. But the only points I see people use are lies. I see people say, oh, well, I say, okay, well, you do realize Kizaru didn't land any significant damage on Gear 5 the entire fight, right? They're like, oh, yeah, well, Luffy didn't hurt Kizaru either, which is a blatant lie. Yo, Detbird, what's good, bro? How you doing, man? Chat, go check out Detbird's channel. He's been making some really great debates. Bro, I've been over in his debates. We've been doing, well, it's his channel, but I was over there on like some of the last debates he did. For Dragon Ball Z, it's a very sick channel. Please, like, I highly recommend check out his channel, bro. Anyway, yeah, I see someone says, Luffy said he almost died after Kizaru's kick. Okay, this is the kind of, like, arguments I'm talking about. It's more just, like, cutting things out. My fault, chat. I don't want to say you're lying, but you're just ignoring a lot of stuff, okay? What happened here is Kizaru kicked Gear 4 Luffy through a barrier. He kicked Gear 4 Luffy through a barrier. And then Luffy pushed himself back through the barrier to get back and fight Kizaru again. That was Luffy damaging himself. That was the barrier. That wasn't Kizaru's kick. He says it right here in the bottom right-hand panel. He says, I thought I was going to die going through that barrier twice. It wasn't like Kizaru was blasting him with light beams over and over, put him in this state. He kicked Gear 4 Luffy through a barrier, and then Luffy pushed himself back through the barrier. Again, I'll say what I said before. Kizaru never once lands a significant attack on Gear 5 Luffy. He just doesn't do it, bro. That is a fact. That is a fact. You say whatever you want. It's just true. Neto, where have you been? I've been at an internship, bro. Okay, it's just the truth. And this is a weaker Luffy than the one that we're talking about in Elbaf. Anyway, this whole debate's on Elbaf Luffy. Okay, and there's more points I can make too. Like, let's focus on this one for a second here, right? A lot more people just hopped in. You guys missed a lot of the intro points. Which is, I highly recommend go back and check those out, because we've been spending the last like 10 minutes just talking about all the things that the Kizaru fans like to ignore. But real quick, there's so many more things I can say here. I'm just going to point this out. I can make an argument Kizaru never even fought a full power Gear 5 anyway, because Luffy, he gets stronger the more he laughs. He gets stronger the more he laughs anyway. So he, let me just really explain this to you guys, chat. Like, let me put it to you like this. I'll explain it to you real simple, real straightforward. Not only does Kizaru never once land a real significant damaging attack on Gear 5 Luffy. Not only that, not only can you make the argument that Luffy wasn't even at, like, Luffy was damaged before the fight started. Not only that, but Luffy wasn't even at, like, full stamina from eating food. We see Luffy eats till the point of getting fat. He wasn't like that before the fight started. He was interrupted mid-meal when Kizaru showed up. So you could make another argument that, like, Gear 5 wasn't even a full Gear 5 duration. When this happened, like, when Kizaru got slammed like this, you can make a strong argument this wasn't even a full Gear 5 duration, because we know that Gear 5's, like, time limit, like, his ability to use it is based on food power. It's not like Gear 4, where it's dependent on Haki. It's dependent on food. If he has food, he can do Gear 5. So I'm going to just say it like this. You can make an argument that this was a 70% Gear 5 duration. It was, Kizaru could not land a single real attack on him, a single significant one, the entire fight. Kizaru is pretty much getting outclassed, and Luffy wasn't at full power strength-wise either, because it was just like a Gear 5 warming up. The more Luffy laughs, the stronger he gets. Kizaru was getting slammed by a 70%, like, let me just say it in one sentence, okay? Like, the whole claim in one sentence. You could make a strong argument that Kizaru was getting slammed by a 70% Gear 5 Luffy who was warming up. And that's an Egghead. Elbaf Luffy's far stronger than Egghead Luffy. He's developed more Devil Fruit Mastery, more control of Gear 5. He's gotten to the point where he's going from Gear 5 to base form to using Gear 4 back to back to back, no drawbacks shown. He gets Haki Blooms from every major fight. This is a stronger version of a character who was already slamming Kizaru. And everything that Kizaru fans say about nerfs for Kizaru, you can say the same for Luffy. Honestly, maybe a few more. Because we know that he was physically damaged, but Kizaru wasn't. Like, Luffy started the fight physically damaged, Kizaru was not physically damaged. People say Kizaru wasn't going 100%. You can make the same argument, neither was Luffy. Luffy says right here that his mission was to stall Kizaru. His mission's to stall him. He's not trying to kill him. You could say he's not even trying to knock him out. He's trying to stall him. Okay, and then on top of that, Luffy's confused by what Kizaru's doing. You could say, like, Kizaru has a mental nerf because he's feeling sad. You could say Luffy has a mental nerf because he's confused by Kizaru's actions. He asks him at the start of the fight, why do you want to kill Vegapunk? And Kizaru tells him he doesn't want to kill Vegapunk. That's confusing to Luffy. You can make an argument that Luffy's feeling empathetic towards Kizaru. Every single thing that people say to defend Kizaru can also be said about Luffy, but on top of that, Luffy's physically tired too. Alright? That's kind of the point. And this is all like Egghead Luffy. Elbaf Luffy's even stronger than Egghead. The more he laughs, the stronger he gets. My whole stance on it is that Elbaf Luffy would be more likely to beat Kizaru than Kizaru would be able to beat Luffy. Like, I just say, Elbaf Luffy's more likely to win. He's just a stronger character. And another thing that backs that up is what I was saying at the start of the stream. What I said at the start of the stream is, even like the most hardcore Admiral fans, and if you're in this chat and you disagree with me, go ahead and tell me, but I think even the most hardcore Admiral fans don't believe Kizaru's overpowering Gear 5. They only think he could win by outlasting him. But for all we know, he fought a 70% Gear 5 Luffy and was getting slammed. So like a full power one could have won even back in Egghead. I could make that argument. But yeah, I mean, he kind of bullies him, chat. He kind of bullies him. Like, imagine if you saw an Admiral 2v1ing two Yonkos like this, while he's debatably not even, like, at full strength. Getting stronger as the fight goes on, laughing more and more as the fight goes on, getting stronger as it goes on, and he's 2v1ing two Yonko. Imagine if an Admiral did that. A lot of the Admiral fans would be going crazy. Luffy eating more doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'd agree with you if I didn't read the manga, but like since I've read the manga, I know that it does mean something, because Luffy says it right here. He says that Gear 5 runs on food power. That's what the left-hand panel says. It's Gear 5. What dominate, like the mistake you're making is you think Gear 5 works like Gear 4, but it doesn't. Gear 4, when he runs out of Haki, like the form stops and he can't use Haki for 10 minutes. Gear 5 isn't like that. It runs on stamina and food. And it's much more similar to Gear 2 actually, because it's like if Luffy eats and he gets his stamina back from eating food, he can use Gear 5 right away. We see him do it here in Egghead. We see him also do it here, like immediately after he eats his food, goes right into Gear 5. And another example is like Oda literally panel by panel makes an exact parallel between Gear 5 and Gear 2, where Luffy forces himself back into Gear 5 and forces himself back into Gear 2 against Lucci. It's the exact same thing. Panel by panel, it's the same thing. This is something you guys who hopped in just now missed at the start of the stream. This is a parallel to this scene. For everyone who says Luffy forcing himself back into back into Gear 5 and Wano was plot, you're just actually wrong. It's just a parallel to the scene that happened in Luffy versus Lucci. If you look at the top panel, you see Luffy say, "This is the end" against Lucci, and then in the left-hand panel, you see him say, "This can't end yet." They're in the exact same pose, the exact same stance. You go down one row and you look at the next panels, it's the same thing. You see Luffy turning into Gear 5 with smoke surrounding him, and then Kaido saying, "Be careful or you're going to die." And then you see on the right-hand panel, you see Luffy going Gear 2 with Lucci in the exact same panel Kizaru was. The exact same panel Kaido was, and he's saying, "Are you really gonna burn yourself out? You'll die." It's like the exact same scene happening twice. It's a parallel, and it's showing you that if Luffy is willing to risk his lifespan, he can force himself back into this form. Okay. So yeah, those are kind of all my main points. Also, he doesn't even use his strongest attacks against Kizaru. He uses them on Saturn, and he's just getting stronger and stronger as the fight goes on. Like, he didn't use Dawn Gatling on Kizaru. He used it on Saturn. And yeah, here's Haki blooms, and then this was what I was saying earlier. You can make an argument that Luffy just chose not to risk his lifespan going back into Gear 5 because his friends were there to protect him. Alright, yeah, those are all my main points. We're going to open this up to a live stream debate. My stance is that Egghead Luffy, not Egghead, sorry, Elbaf Luffy, this one, the one who has even more mastery of Gear 5 than he did before. He's at full power. He got a Haki bloom, and he's just way stronger. The one who's going Gear 5 back into base form and then using Gear 4 immediately after that, a mastered version of Gear 4. This Luffy is beating Kizaru. He's just more likely to beat Kizaru. Okay? So, I'm about to have... You said he doesn't even think Kizaru fed him. It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter because of what I was saying before. Like, Luffy wasn't even at full stamina when the fight started, bro. I'll put it like this. I don't know. I've said it a bunch of times, but I don't think people are getting it. I don't know why. I've said it a bunch of times. Like, you see Luffy at the start of the... Let me try to explain it more simply, I guess. You know Gear 5 runs on food power, right? We see that. We see that here. We know Gear 5 runs on food power. He says it on the left-hand panel. We can all agree on that. It doesn't just run on Haki like Gear 4. We can all agree on that, right? And we see Luffy, like, eats to the point of being fat. Okay? That's how you know he's, like, actually become full. And we see here, before the Kizaru fight starts, he's mid-meal. He doesn't even finish eating. He's interrupted by Kizaru showing up, and then when the fight starts, he's damaged anyway. So this is telling you Luffy's not only physically damaged, he's not even full. So even if he were to go Gear 5 at the start of the fight, that's not a full power Gear 5. It's not a full Gear 5 duration. It might be 70%. It might be 50%. It might be half as long as a normal Gear 5. Okay? And then still, with this nerfed Gear 5 that's getting stronger as he fights anyway, it's nerfed. It's not even, it's a warming up. like 70% duration gear 5, he still hits him with the star gun. Imagine if this was a 100% duration gear 5. He's just flying over and then slamming Kizaru into the ground right after this. Okay, I don't know. I don't know why people keep bringing up Kizaru fed him when it doesn't matter. The reason he fed him was because Luffy started the fight at like 70%. I don't know. That's like the third time I've said that, so hopefully it made sense by now. But we're going to go into the debate portion. So if you want to join the debate, I'll show you guys one more time. You go to my channel, and then you click on posts. Oh, my fault. Hold. I clicked on manage videos accidentally. You go to my channel and you click posts. And then you scroll down to this most recent post. Then you click on the comments. And it's the pinned comment. So if you want to debate this, feel free. And we will get into the debate, okay? So, and like during this next portion, oh yeah, Bromus just posted it. Thank you for doing that, Bromus. During this next portion, I'm not going to be able to see the chat except for the super chats, because I was like, I don't have my full debate set up with me. I'm just like doing the most makeshift debate stuff. So yeah, if you're leaving comments and I'm not seeing them during this like voice chat debate portion, don't feel bad. Like I just had some people, I told some people in my Discord, well, ask them like, can you let me know if anyone does a super chat so I can go back and see it, because like I don't have all my tools with me, so I can't see like the chat while I do the voice chat stuff. Are you gonna do more streams today or soon? Not today, but tomorrow, yeah. All right, chat, let me go over to the debate portion, okay? Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I wanted to go first.
Okay, sure.
Go ahead.
How are you doing, bro?
So let me cook for a little bit.
All right. Can you hear me, by the way?
Jordan's next, by the way. Geo Thomas next.
Sure. Can you hear me? Sure?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. How are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing good, bro. The times when you were responding to me, bro, I wasn't debating you. I was debating someone else.
I'm sorry. I couldn't tell. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Okay, right. First thing, the food thing. It doesn't matter. He didn't get fed before he fought Kaido. That doesn't matter. He wasn't getting fed at all before Kaido. The Seraphim did. I don't even think the Seraphim hit him.
Well, they clearly did. They clearly did.
He got a couple scratches.
They clearly did damage him because he's like depicted as damaged.
So you think that's more than? So you think that's more damage than what Kaido did to him? And he'd come back to life, and he kept going even after fighting Kaido.
Wait, why would that matter?
You think that's more damage?
Why does it have to be more damage than that?
Because if it didn't matter in the Kaido fight, if Kaido, if he can still put up this much of a fight against Kaido in that state, him being scuffed up by some fodder Seraphim when he's fighting Kizaru, who he promised to save Bonnie and Kuma and Vegapunk from. He promised them. And he couldn't even save them. Kizaru, you know why it's so important he fed him? Because he could not save Bonnie. Bonnie was gonna die.
Hold on,
Kizaru had to
you're shotgunning
him, and then
you're shotgunning some.
You're shotgunning. Wait, you're shotgunning, bro. Wait, hold up.
Oh no, it's all good. Like you. So the first point you said, you were saying like, do I think he's more damaged from the Seraphim than he was against Kaido? That was the first point you said, right?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if the damage from Kaido didn't impede his performance, because he put a LeBron James performance up against Kaido, why does him being damaged a little bit by someone far weaker than Kaido weaken his Gear 5 performance this much to you?
I'm saying it most likely did impede his performance. Kaido was at like 20%. Kaido was also damaged. Kaido was also on his last legs.
Kaido was damaged. Most of the people who fought Kaido couldn't even hurt him.
But Luffy fought him like Luffy fought him 4 times, and he was like beating Kaido so badly that Kaido was like saying, "I respect you," like on even terms. And it was getting to the point where, like, I think even before Luffy got into his fourth fight with Kaido, like, he fought him 4 times before Gear 5. And I think at the start of the 4th time, Kaido was, like, starting to drop the island. Like, something he was doing passively. He had taken so much damage that he was starting to, like, no longer be able to do something he was doing with ease. It's like, imagine Doflamingo taking so much damage, he's starting to, like, let go of Birdcage.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I agree with that. Like, but that tier of, okay, let me show you why I don't agree with that. In that moment where he calls him equal, it literally cuts the Kaido completely slamming him and tossing him off the roof immediately. The next time we see them, he's off the roof and drowning. He's like, oh, too seriously.
That's actually not true. No, like, when he starts saying that Luffy's equal with him, he pours him a drink, and then he does the drunken Thunder Bagua rage thing, and Luffy, like, tanks that to the head, and then they fight for, like, 10 chapters after. Like, that's, like, the last segment of their fight, and that doesn't stop until a CP0 member gets in the way.
Oh, okay, I'm misremembering then. That was the time when he put him on top 5, I think. Okay, my fault.
I'm sorry.
So, I still disagree with that because, like...
We disagree with what part exactly?
Kaido was stamina nerf. Yes, I agree. They were stamina nerf, and they were getting weaker, but I don't think it makes their attacks or stats weaker. They're running low on stamina doesn't mean they're overall weaker, because they can still pull out their strongest attacks, even while at the brink of their stamina.
But how does
Kaido and everybody does it all the time.
How does that change anything in the Kizaru and Luffy fight, though?
I'm saying his speed isn't worse, his defense isn't worse, nothing is worse. And yeah, his stamina might be worse, but we've seen him keep it up much longer than he did in the Kizaru fight.
No,
and you said, like...
It's because his stamina runs on food. Like, Gear 5 stamina specifically runs on food. Like, that's why it's not like Gear 4, where it's, like, entirely dependent on Haki. It's like Gear 5, if he runs out of food power, Gear 5 runs out. And the only time we've seen him, like, push beyond that is where it's implied he's, like, killing himself to do it, in the same way that he did Gear 2. I have that panel on the screen. So it's like, yes, the amount Luffy eats before going into Gear 5 matters a lot, actually. It's actually, like, you could say that determines how long he can stay in Gear 5, is how full he is.
When did he eat versus Kaido? He didn't eat for the raid and had to fight OT.
But why does it matter? Like,
eat at all.
Why does that matter at all?
I'm saying, like, he doesn't eat majority of the times he goes into Gear 5. He only eats this one time. And what's to say he wasn't full before he even reached the edge? What's to say he wasn't full then?
But how does that change anything, though? I'm not fully understanding why you're mentioning Kaido.
It's not stamina. It's not that he's less stamina. It's the first time he ever ate before he going into a form. Food always helps Luffy. Every time he's injured, you just give him food and he comes back, even for Gear 4.
What I'm not seeing the point you're trying to make, though. Like, you're saying, like, he did really good against Kaido, so that's a bad thing? What is the point you're making?
No,
he did good against Kaido, I agree.
I'm saying he can maintain his power even without eating food in a way worse state versus Kaido. Why do you think it's this badly impeding him here?
Wait. So you're saying you're asking me why is he doing worse against Kizaru, basically?
Yeah, he actually did worse against Kizaru than he did against Kaido.
I mean, even
if I look at the fight, he never hits Kizaru unless he's off guard.
I don't know about that. Wait, so okay, I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. You're saying, why did Gear 5 run out faster, basically? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying Gear 5 ran out way faster.
I would just say because he wasn't full.
He wasn't full. He clearly wasn't full against Kaido. And
I think he literally had a full-fledged moment where it's like he ate till he was fat and then started fighting Kaido.
Ate till he's fat, then after that he died. He ate till he's fat, fought his hardest, then died, then came back. He wasn't full.
So I'm gonna have to look at it panel by panel, but I mean, I could just make the argument he was more full against Kaido.
Nah, bro. The dead man on brink of death's door. That Kaido says, bro, you're gonna die right now if you keep this up. And nah, bro.
So
nah.
Okay, so you think that? I mean, so your whole argument here is you think?
No, it's not. That's just a part of it.
Well, I'm just not even sure why you're bringing it up. I'm trying to understand you genuinely. Like you're saying,
because you brought it up. I'm saying the food thing doesn't make sense because he did better against Kaido when he was in way worse condition, and his Gear 5 didn't run out this fast. Saying, why are you bringing this up?
But he ate until he was fat before he fought Kaido.
Then he died, and Kaido's like, bro, you're done. Your
argument is like him dying made the food he ate not count anymore.
This was after a full Gear 4 fight, and he says, this is all I have left. He stated right before he died, this is all I have left, then died after that. He's already empty. He gave up everything. Then at the brink of after he literally just came back from the dead, he's having no stamina, came back, then fought Kaido, way better than when he fought Kizaru.
So
I'm saying his performance in Kaido is better.
That just means he pushed beyond his limits. Why is that a problem?
I'm saying he should have pushed beyond his limits here as well because he made a promise. We know how Luffy values promises and dreams and stuff like that, right? You agree?
Who did he make a promise to? Like what promise exactly?
He promised to get Bonnie and Vegapunk off the island. He promised them that. And he was gonna, and he failed.
Well, he actually succeeded. Failed. They did get Vegapunk off the island. The girl version.
Knowledge, yes, but to his knowledge, he was meant to save the original Vegapunk. Luffy ain't that smart enough to figure that out.
Wait, hold on a second. I think, is your whole point? You're saying you don't think Gear 5 runs on food? Is that the whole point you're trying to make?
I'm saying even if it does, it doesn't impact him as much as he's saying it does.
Like,
relax.
Well, no, he's good. Oh wait, is someone else speaking? I might have someone else muted. I don't know. Was it?
Yeah, Kobe's speaking. I don't know what he's saying.
Oh, I had Kobe on mute. I couldn't hear.
Okay. I know you were talking.
Was there something like in your background or something you was dealing with? Like everything good?
I'm driving. That's all.
Oh no.
Are you driving? Oh, okay. Just make sure to go on mute.
Okay. But yeah, sure. Sorry, you're saying like you don't think Gear 5 runs on food, or you think it like barely affects Gear 5? Is that your point?
Barely affects him. I'm saying it barely affects him, and even if it does affect him, it shouldn't have made him like the stamina this worse.
Okay, so hold on a second. I mean, we literally see like the moment he eats, he just goes right back into Gear 5. What's your explanation of that?
And we see that when Luffy lost against Kaido the first time, got dropped in the sea, he ate a little bit, then went straight back into Gear 4. That
doesn't disprove my claim. That like is further evidence for my claim, actually.
Saying food doesn't really matter because at the time, at his best that we've ever seen him in, at the best we've ever seen him in this series, he didn't have food. He was near death. And he still put up better numbers than he did against Kizaru. Even if you're saying he put his life on the line, then he should have put his life on his line here because he promised Bonnie to save her. And at this moment, Saturn was going to kill her. Sanji and everybody else was frozen. They couldn't save her. The only person who saved, the real only reason why Bonnie isn't dead right now is because Kizaru got up and fed him.
But that, okay.
He was going to...
Look, okay, so... It's just you keep like saying more than one point at once. So I just kind of lose track of them. So you're saying like because you think Luffy did better against Kaido than he did against Kizaru, right?
Yeah, he clearly did.
Okay, I mean even that's debatable. Because I mean Kaido was actually landing hits on Luffy, but Kizaru couldn't. But then the other thing you said, what was the second thing you said?
I'm saying, it's still attached to the first point. I'm saying, even if you say it was because he was using his lifespan, he should have used his lifespan here because he promised Bonnie to save her. And in this second, she was gonna die if Kizaru didn't bring him back.
Well, I would say
he was completely empty.
Okay, I would say he didn't have to. He just chose the easiest thing to do. His friend saved him, and then from Luffy's knowledge, food just appeared in front of him. So instead of risking his lifespan to do it, he just chose the easiest option, which was trust your...
Sure she saved Bonnie.
What? What? What did you say?
I'm saying Bonnie was gonna die. I don't think that was me.
Okay, that doesn't
I don't think
change.
that was me you're responding to.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I'm just saying, Luffy just chose the easiest option. He he just let Frankie push him out of the way of Saturn, so he's trusting his friends. Not even the first time he's done that. And then he just ate the food that was presented to him. He chose to do that instead of risking his lifespan.
And like saving himself. It's not in someone he promised. This is not about saving himself. Someone he promised he was gonna save was gonna die, and he couldn't do nothing. And he had to beg someone give me food like a bum. And then Kizaru had to save him, or else Bonnie would have died.
When does
the reason why it
hold
so
on.
long is it was a flashback.
Hold on.
Bonnie was gonna die.
Well, okay. But she didn't die. What I'm like, you asked me for why did Luffy do this? Hold on, Ashura.
Because he fed her.
You asked me
because he fed him.
Okay, you asked me why did Luffy not use his lifespan to go into Gear 5, right?
Yeah, okay.
I gave you the answer. He chose the easiest option. He said, my friend is right here. He's saving my life from Saturn. Food is right here. I'm just going to eat this. I'm good. That's better than me risking my life. This is the easier of the two choices. That's why. If you don't like, look, man, if you don't like that, that's okay. But that's an answer for you.
No, you're wrong. You're just wrong.
What proof is there that I'm wrong?
Bonnie was gonna die. This was no easy. If he didn't, he could have used his lifespan and say, Bonnie, there was no food at that second.
The food was there almost instantly. The food was there almost instantly, man.
He was gonna die. The only reason why Saturn didn't kill her was because he was distracted by him eating.
Honestly,
right.
if I'm just being honest, Ashura, you might be getting some of the panels mixed up. I'm not even gonna lie.
I think I have them downloaded. Give me a second. But either way.
But yeah, I mean, I'm giving you answers to these. If you don't like the answers, that's one thing. But I'm giving you valid answers to it. Here are the answers. It's like he chose the easier option that was available. His friend saved him, and then food appeared, so he just ate that. That's easier than him just risking his lifespan when he really doesn't have to. He still accomplished the exact same thing he would have if he risked his life. If he risked his lifespan, the same thing happens. He gets up and just punches Kizaru. Same thing. Okay, so that's one. And then the other thing, I would just say, you can make a strong argument that he wasn't even at. Wait, hold on. Actually, no. That's actually all I need to say, really. That kind of solves it there. But anyway, all of this is just Egghead Luffy. What does that have to do with Elbaf Luffy? Like, Elbaf Luffy's far stronger anyway. The real purpose of this debate is Elbaf Luffy versus Kizaru. That's the real purpose.
He got better with it. Doesn't mean he's far stronger. He got more skill with it. Doesn't mean his stamina is better or anything.
It actually, so he is far stronger because, like, do you know what hockey blooms are?
I know what hockey bloom is, but
what is a hockey?
How much it made?
You tell me, what is a hockey bloom?
I know what, bro. I know what. I debate One Piece, bro. I know what a hockey bloom is. After you literally explained it, bro. Don't baby me, bro. Don't baby me. I know what a hockey bloom is.
What is it? You tell me.
Dog. It's after an intense fight, you get stronger. Bro.
Yeah, yes, his hockey gets stronger. So you earlier just said he didn't. It doesn't mean he's stronger. It literally word for word does mean he's stronger. He fought Kizaru.
Yes,
he fought Kizaru.
Also get a hockey.
No, I'd make an argument.
Would also.
No, that's far harder to prove. I'd make an argument that once you reach a certain age in One Piece, hockey blooms might just straight up stop.
That's headcanon.
No, it's actually backed up by a lot of things in the series. Like, a good example is Garp saying that he's less than half of his prime strength. Why do you think that happened? If he's been fighting nonstop. Shouldn't he be?
Stop fighting.
No, he hasn't. He's been fighting the whole time. He hunts down pirates all the time. Pirates are still terrified of him. Why would Garp?
Is he fighting people, like on his level? Is he fighting people actually on his level? No.
That's headcanon.
He hasn't been fighting. He hasn't been fighting Admiral's level people. He hasn't.
We know that he fought Shiki. He fought Shiki with Sengoku for like days on end, didn't he?
Years ago, man. That's headcanon.
But he's been fighting like nonstop.
Fodder. He's been fighting fodder nonstop. Who else has he fought?
So you're saying like, I mean, you don't know who he's fought in that time, man. He also fought Marco during Marineford.
I told you.
So my
No, hold on, wait. They're in a debate right now. Kobe, just give them a minute.
Have we ever seen it said that like your hockey gets weaker if you're fighting people weaker than you? How does that make sense?
No, hockey. Okay, what is hockey?
How does he?
All right,
no, I'm asking you. How did he lose half his strength if most of your power in One Piece comes from hockey? How did he lose half his power if he's fighting nonstop? Shouldn't he be getting at least some hockey blooms from all that?
No, your physical strength doesn't matter in One Piece. He got physically weaker and lost half his strength. He got rusty. He couldn't bring out his old power, and he stopped fighting gods. He stopped fighting gods, bro. So,
I mean, you can't even prove that. Like, you really can't. Like, you're assuming that Garp fought no one who could challenge him all that time. Like, what evidence do you have of that?
What evidence do you have? You asking me for evidence, but you're not presenting any.
No, it's your claim. You're the one saying he fought nothing but weaklings. Like, how do you know?
Hold on. I just want to intrude real quick. Dude, when you're making a claim, you need to back it up. You can't just say something.
He says hockey bloom stop aging, right? And I'm like, prove that it does that. And he hasn't proved it.
My proof to it.
Stop being wrong.
Dude, my proof to it is that Garp is like less than half power and he's been fighting the whole time. So like my stance is this. It's like if you really kept getting hockey blooms from like all throughout your life, even in old age, shouldn't old Garp be stronger than like young Garp?
Bro, is he fighting Yonkos? Is he fighting Admiral level people?
We don't know.
When has anybody ever claimed to fight him?
We don't.
He isn't.
We don't know every fight he's had.
We don't know.
But we do know that he's fought Shiki. And I think, and that was after Roger died too.
Yeah, right after Roger died, bro. That's like couple 40. I don't know the exact timeline, bro. That was ages ago. That's not current Garp.
And he fought Marco too.
Marco, he punched Marco once, and they never fought again, bro.
Yo, guys, we're branching off topic, bro. We went from hockey blooms to Garp, bro.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's still kind of
the hockey bloom.
I mean, like, there's probably honestly more examples. Like, because the claim I'm making is that I think. Wait, how did we start with it? We were talking about hockey. Oh yeah, you were saying you think Kizaru got a hockey bloom.
Kizaru got a hockey bloom off the fight too. So saying he got stronger after Head doesn't really matter. But they both fought.
But aren't you guys always the ones saying that Kizaru wasn't even trying? So which is it?
Yeah, and aren't you saying Luffy isn't even trying? I'm saying both of them were nerfed. I'm just saying Kizaru was nerfed more.
Okay, well let me go ahead and say that if you think Kizaru wasn't trying, Luffy gets a hockey bloom from fighting the Five Elders.
Luffy, I don't even think Luffy was hurt during the Five Elders.
He's fighting them. He's
I think they're fought.
He's doing his best he can to kill them and getting shocked that they don't die. He's trying.
Hockey blooms come when you're actually giving it your all. Both of you are in a near death fight, like what happened in.
So I mean, I have the panel here. It says the real advancement in hockey happens during extreme use in battle. The stronger the foes you face with this power, the stronger you'll become with it.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he's just fighting strong people, he should be getting stronger. But I honestly, I think Garp is the best example that hockey blooms kind of stagnate because he's been just like fighting the whole time and is half the power he was in his prime. I think that's honestly pretty
he isn't
solid.
fighting Roger anymore.
Yeah, but it's like that's
He
a
isn't
lot.
fighting Roger.
That's a long. So look, let me put it like this. That's a long time, man. Like, when did Roger die again? Was it 20 years ago?
25 years ago, yeah.
So you're saying in 20 years you don't think he fought anyone strong at all for 20 years?
He hasn't fought anyone noteworthy in that time because no one's mentioned it. He's literally been semi-retired.
I don't know about that. He's still the hero of the Marines.
Yeah, because of things
Semi-retired.
he did 25 years ago.
Wait, what's the proof of him being semi-retired, actually?
That's me being a stretch. He hasn't fought anybody. I'm saying he practically does nothing. He goofs off most of the time.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
We don't know who he's fought. You can't use him. You have to use someone who you actually know. You have to use someone who you actually know their fighting history and if they've gotten stronger. Whitebeard didn't fight anybody of note after he got sick. He got sick, couldn't fight anybody, and he got weaker.
Actually, hold on a second. We know that he fought Ace every day for like hundreds of days and was just one-shotting him. So he was fighting some, and like people would challenge Whitebeard a lot. Actually, you don't know everyone he fought. He was beating the sleeves off people for years.
In his sleep, he literally beat Ace, his second in command, in his sleep.
I'm just gonna be honest, Ashura. I think your claims are harder to prove than mine because you're saying like for these 20-year stretches of time, these super huge name people who are known to be active fighters never fought anyone strong. And when I'm asking you like why do you think that, you're just saying because they didn't. And I'm like, okay, well that's kind of harder to prove. Like that's harder to prove.
So you're guessing they fought someone strong. When in turn nobody wants to fight Garp.
I'd make the argument that like there's a chance that even if you're fighting someone not that crazy, like if you have a mid-diff fight, you could make an argument you're getting hockey blooms from that too. Like we see Luffy, especially someone who's like Luffy, his power skyrockets mid-arc a lot from like simple fights. Like he was getting a lot like hold on, I'm about to give you an example. Luffy in the Udon prison arc, he got like magnitude stronger fighting bums.
No, he didn't really get much stronger.
Yes, he did.
That's a whole debate by itself, but he didn't get stronger.
He did get way stronger. What do you mean?
Okay, put it like this, right? Kinemon didn't fight anybody of note. Kinemon got one shot the entire previous arc, but Kinemon came back and is still relative with everybody currently.
He's not
that much stronger.
He's not relative. Kinemon is fodder amongst the samurai. But let's get back on track here because I think we're getting away from the main debate. My debate is that Elbaf Luffy is just stronger than Kizaru straight up. And I think honestly, I think you agree with that because it doesn't seem from everything you're saying, you've made like no claims for Kizaru being like an actually stronger character than Luffy. It's more like you just think Kizaru would be able to outlast Luffy, even though we've seen him in Elbaf go from Gear 5 to base to a mastered Gear 4, and he would be a full power Luffy, and he'd be stronger than the previous arc. And like, I mean, here's the big thing that I don't think you really have a counter to, is that Kizaru didn't land a single real attack on Gear 5 Luffy. And Luffy's even stronger now. So, like, what is Kizaru really going to do?
I can argue that very much because, like, think about it like this. In the first fight, neither of them landed hits on each other. Kizaru was avoiding him.
Wait, what are you talking about? Hold up. Luffy wasn't landing attacks on Kizaru? What is White Star Gun?
From the moment he grabbed him, till the last moment where he hit him with the what's it called, the star gun? Not the punch that put him to sleep, right? The star gun, something that put him to sleep, that knocked him out. I agree, that landed, and that knocked him out. And he could have got up and killed him while he was hungry.
That's not even full power Luffy either. He gets stronger the more he laughs.
He gets stronger the more he laughs. How do you know that's not just a joke statement by Oda?
Are you being for real?
Like Oda said
So
one
now,
time.
okay,
that
okay,
the way you
okay. No. Let's use that.
Looking at like-
Sure, hold up. Let's go ahead and use that. Then Kizaru feeding Luffy's a joke statement from Oda too. They're both from the same freaking stuff. You really want to do that? I don't think you want to do
Even
that.
if you said that's a joke, he literally fed him though.
Are you being
That's
for real, bro?
something that's in the story.
Are you being for real right now?
I don't agree that statement has much as I don't think it has that much legs to stand on. How much stronger does it make him?
Sure. Are you being for real, bro? You just told me, okay, this one data book statement from Oda that honestly does come across as a joke with him saying Kizaru fed him. You're saying that one's real, but the data book where it just word for word says the more he laughs, the stronger he gets, you think that one's a joke? Are you being serious? You cannot be serious.
Okay, let me give you a say it's true, right?
All right.
Even if it's true, how much does he get?
I don't know, stronger
How
than
much stronger?
Stronger than he was when he like one punched Kizaru. And this isn't even Luffy's strongest move. He doesn't hit him with Dawn Gatling. He's not hitting him with Bashran gun. This is like casual attacks from Luffy, like slamming this dude. And what did Kizaru land on Gear 5 that matches this?
He didn't try to attack him. We literally see him avoid him. He didn't even use his awakening, he didn't use awakening, bro.
You don't even know like what that would be, or if he even has one.
He's an admiral, bro. He has one.
You don't know that.
He's an admiral, bro.
You don't know that.
He has. Okay, right. I don't think he went all out because he's obviously doesn't want to kill Vegapunk. He's obviously conflicted through the entire chapter. You say Luffy is conflicted, right?
I'm saying you can just like, if you want to use all those arguments, I'm saying you can make the exact same ones for Luffy. Because, and the difference is like Admiral fans, like you're making these arguments to explain why Kizaru
Luffy is confused, and that
look the big difference is like when it comes to this like
someone
mental
wanting to
dude I think it's cutting out a bit.
Is equal to Luffy being.
Sure, you're cutting out.
Yeah, you're cutting out, bro. The difference between like
You're lagging. I can't hear you, or maybe I'm the problem.
Oh no, it's all good. Yeah, you're cutting out. What were you saying?
Oh, okay. I'm saying Luffy being confused does not even come close to matching someone not wanting to kill their best friend. He wanted to lose.
I mean, you're trying to quantify like an unquantifiable thing. But
this isn't unquantifiable. One person wants to lose. One person wants to at least win. He wants to do what he planned. The other person wants to lose.
Okay, I could just go ahead and make the argument that Kizaru wanted to win as fast as possible to get it over with.
Then why would he feed Luffy then? He fed Luffy to save Bonnie, the person he's meant to be targeting. It doesn't make sense. He wants to lose.
I'd say he's trying to I would just say he doesn't want to kill. Well, he'll let Bonnie live, but he's gonna kill Vegapunk, which is what ends up happening anyway.
He was also sent to kill Bonnie and Kuma, literally right after that. His performance in this arc was not very great because if he really wanted to kill them, they would have been dead.
But anyway, how does any of this how does any of this correlate to the stronger Elbaf Luffy anyway? Like Egghead Luffy versus Egghead Kizaru is its own debate. Luffy is stronger in Elbaf. How is Kizaru handling this stronger Luffy?
Stronger.
Huh?
You cannot get stronger from every single fight. You get stronger from very serious fights.
Are you kidding me, bro?
Like hockey.
All right. He just contradicted one of his own arguments. I just want to say that right now with that statement.
Sure. Hold up. Sure. Luffy has like the biggest hockey blooms in the entire story from what we've seen. Like for example, against Katakuri, man, at the start of this was just one fight. In his start of the fight with Katakuri, hold up. He was getting overpowered by. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, but I'm confused. Are you saying Katakuri versus Luffy was a minor fight?
listen to the full point and maybe you won't be confused. What I'm saying is Luffy has some of the biggest hockey blooms in the story, bro. His progression is insane. He's been in the New World for like 3 months. He went from 3rd Division Commander level to Yonko level in like 3 months. Most of that's from hockey blooms. Okay. Another thing is, like I was trying to explain to you, is in the Luffy versus Katakuri fight, the start of the fight, he's Gear 3 is getting overpowered by like no-name copycat attacks from Katakuri. Then Katakuri uses his awakening, uses Perilous Donuts. It's like a stronger, he uses this to match Gear 4, by the way, at the start of the fight. And it's like over. He's like,
I'm sorry to like cut you off. Like, my apologies, but I think you guys should end the debate soon.
Okay.
I think it's been dragged longer than it should have.
It has been going long. I'll go to the next person in a second, and we can like go to multiple people. But basically, it's like Luffy goes from getting overpowered in like Gear 3 to no-name attacks from Katakuri to like matching the strength of Perilous Mochi in just one fight. So like his hockey blooms are insane. So like saying he got no stronger after fighting Kizaru and multiple 5 elders using Gear 5 like 3 times, like, and he fought the Seraphim. There's almost like he's just getting stronger, man. And we see he's getting stronger because he's doing stuff he couldn't do the previous arc. It doesn't just magically happen.
He didn't. I don't believe he got that much stronger because this is not even the same situation. When he was fighting Kizaru, when he was fighting Katakuri, he fought him, got beat, almost died. He ran back, came back until he learned his ability. He was knocking on death's door multiple times. 5 different times during that fight. That's not even close.
It's still a hockey bloom.
He really got scratched. You are saying he didn't get hurt, but then you're saying he got a hockey bloom from a fight he didn't get hurt in.
Yeah,
what is this?
Because he's going
hurt.
Because he's clearly going, like, he's using Gear 5, man. He's like, if you really want to do that, I'd say that the 5 elders pushed him more than Kizaru did. And then on top of that, like, one last thing I'll say is, even if, I mean, you're downplaying hockey blooms like crazy. That's just being, because we know Luffy he's gotten the biggest hockey blooms out of any other character in the series. He went from 3rd Division Commander to Yonko tier.
In those fights, you're taking it out of context. Those fights those cannot be compared to now. Every single time he's gotten a hockey bloom, he had to die, come back from the dead and die again.
That's actually not true.
This is not similar.
No, that I would say that if I didn't pay attention to most of One Piece, yeah, but it's like the truth is he's steadily getting stronger, man. Like, I think you're missing context clues. He's steadily.
The fights he got hockey blooms in are extreme diff fights.
No,
none of this was extreme diff.
Sure. He's getting steadily stronger throughout the whole post time skip. He's getting stronger. It's not Oda, dude. Oda doesn't. Sure. Oda doesn't need to like hold your hand and tell you word for word. Oh, Luffy, because of this fight right here, he's gotten 10,000. He doesn't have to do that. It's like done subtly. But even if you want to put, even if you put that aside, because you are downplaying Luffy's hockey blooms for a reason. You're doing it for a reason. But
I've been arguing this. His hockey blooms is not that crazy.
That's
it's
just
only
I think we can move on to the next person already.
Okay, we will. I just want to say one last thing. Even if you downplay the hockey blooms, he clearly has more devil fruit mastery. He never used Gear 4 mini before. That's mastery of a form. And he had never gone from Gear 5 to base to Gear 4 before. He'd never done, like, that alone makes him stronger. Yes, right?
In skill mastery, does that apply to Gear 5? What new things can he do in Gear 5?
He can go from Gear 5 to base to Gear 4 with no drawbacks.
Who cares? He didn't die this time. He actively chose to go down. That doesn't.
You don't need to continue arguing because he's literally agreeing with you and he doesn't even know it.
No, it's fine.
He literally just agreed that he was stronger. So the next person that wanted to debate you was Geotam.
Okay.
He was the one that next up.
Okay, yeah, we'll go to Geotam.
It was me, but...
Oh, wait, it was Ryu? Oh, yeah, I think Ryu was here second. But I don't know, actually.
Yeah, I was the second one in here.
Ryu, hold on. Let my boy Gio get this one. You beat there, trust.
All right.
Wait, did I miss any super chats or no? I can't even see them.
I want to check.
Okay, yeah, if I miss any, I'm sorry. But yeah, you could go ahead, Gio.
All right. So with the food argument, you said what did you say again? Just for clarification.
With the food argument, I mean,
Like-
mostly like that is just for like Egghead Luffy anyway. So I'd like to more focus on Elbaf, but I was essentially saying like we see that Gear 5 runs on food. It's not like Gear 4. If anything, I'd say it's more similar to Gear 2 because it's like given exact parallels to Gear 2. He could like go force himself back into it, like risking his lifespan. That's one argument you could make. And then the other argument I was saying is like the Gear 5 that he battled Kizaru with and Egghead wasn't even a full Gear 5 duration because he was like mid-meal before the fight started. He didn't finish eating and he was damaged anyway, then started fighting. So, but like that's all Egghead Luffy stuff. I'd like to focus more on Elbaf Luffy.
Okay. Do you think the Luffy that fought Kizaru and Egghead was that like 100% like power wise?
Kizaru, you said?
Luffy.
Not really, no, because he gets stronger the more he laughs. So like as he's fighting Luffy, he's fighting a warming up Luffy basically.
Okay, but in the fight, Luffy doesn't really do much damage to Kizaru like at all. Like every time he hits him, it's like there's no visible damage, there's no blood except for that one off guard grab.
I mean, like no, that is visible damage there though for sure. Like you said, there's no visible damage except for the visible damage basically.
Or blood. There's no visible damage or blood.
There is. I have it on screen right now. He's like coughing up blood.
No, that happens after Kizaru kills Vegapunk and he's looking the other way, and then Luffy grabs him. He didn't see Luffy coming. That's an off guard attack.
Okay, but he's still hurting him. Like he's doing something Kizaru didn't do to Gear 5.
Yeah, but like when Kizaru defends himself, it's with armament hockey. You can't defend yourself if you can't see the attack coming.
Okay, and then you also think that the Star Gun did no damage?
Yeah.
What's your proof for that?
There's no blood, visible damage. Kizaru gets up and beats Luffy not too long later.
So you can be damaged and still get up. Luffy, like for example, Luffy fights Kaido and he takes like the drunken Ragnarok straight to the face, and then he just gets back up and keeps fighting. Do you think that didn't hurt Luffy?
Drunken Ragnarok?
Yeah, it's like right after I think it was called Drunken Thunder Bagua Ragnarok, something like that. And it's when Luffy said it's base Luffy versus like man beast form drunk Kaido. And this is right after Kaido says like he's starting to accept Luffy as an equal. Kaido like cracks him in the head with that attack, and Luffy says he's stronger now, and then just gets back up and keeps fighting like the next panel. There's no way that did no damage. What'd you say?
You know? What chapter is this, you know?
It would take me a second to find it, but it's probably in the 1031 to 1033 range. Well, no, it's maybe it's like 1029. It would take me a second to find it. I mean, I can look for it. I'll look for it on my phone. But like, just because a character's not bleeding doesn't mean they're not taking damage. Especially like a good example is like well, honestly, I'll actually just leave it at that. Just because a character's not bleeding doesn't mean they're not taking damage.
It's usually visible damage or blood is being shown.
I'm saying that it doesn't need to be like,
especially with Luffy's White Circle variants, like against Kaido and Lucci, they're both bleeding when they get hit by that, but Kizaru doesn't.
Yeah, like, I'm just saying, like, especially with someone like Luffy who's like punching you, you're not gonna bleed every time he hits you, but you're still getting hurt. And Luffy has Rio anyway, that does internal damage. So like, if you really think like Luffy's not hurting him, then Luffy is objectively holding back. He's not even using Rio.
Why doesn't internal damage when he bleed from the mouth?
No. Rio does internal damage. You don't always bleed from it. Like, it just goes past your durability. So I mean, do you think he's not even using Rio? Do you think he's holding back that much? If anything, that's a good thing for.
He's from his Vegapunk. He would protect him, so actually he'd go all out to protect Vegapunk. This Kizaru's actually going for him. Like, that's what he thinks.
Then Kizaru's taking damage, man. Like, the only way you can even make that argument is if you think Luffy's holding back so much he's not using Rio. I don't think you guys want to make that argument.
Anyway, I found a panel, by the way. He uses Lightning Hammer to...
Oh, what chapter is that? I'm trying to find it, too.
1037. And then Luffy, he's holding his head, he's bleeding. He's like, oh, that hurt. He's so tough.
1037. Here, let me look at it real quick. Looking at it on my phone. And, oh, yeah, I see it. Yeah, he is bleeding in that. But, anyway, yeah, it doesn't change my point. If you really think that Luffy's not even using Rio, that's terrible for Kizaru. Luffy doesn't take him serious at all. He's not even trying.
I'm not saying that. It's just like...
I mean, you are saying that because...
He's not doing the bare minimum showings of, like, blood or visible damage. So it's like, how much damage is he really doing?
So...
I'm saying it's significant.
I mean, you're wording it differently, but it's the same thing. If you think Luffy's not hurting him, then that means he's not using Rio. Because Rio ignores durability. That's the whole point of it.
Couldn't Kizaru defend himself with armament hockey? He sent
No,
tomorrow.
you can't. You can't do that. Like, Kaido couldn't do that.
Kaido doesn't defend himself with armament hockey.
You're right. He defends himself with more than that. He defends himself with advanced Conqueror's hockey that makes him, like, so durable he had never taken real damage. He was like, he was such a tank that he would just take hits on purpose.
Specifically attacks with advanced Conqueror's hockey. He doesn't defend himself with it. This is the same guy who wanted to take Bonjang gun to the face.
So I mean, you're not really proving your point here, man. Like, Rio does internal damage. That's the whole point of Rio. It does internal damage. So if you think Luffy's not doing anything to Kizaru, then he's not using Rio. He's not even trying.
You don't think you can fuse your insides with hockey to defend yourself?
I mean, we've seen no one defend Rio.
Except Kizaru. So tomorrow he claims he has the best defense in the world. He gets it from Kizaru.
I mean, have we seen Sentomaru get hit by a confirmed Rio attack?
He has not.
Okay, I don't see the point of bringing that up then. But yeah, I mean, if you want to say Luffy's not even using Rio, we can go with that. That means Luffy's not even trying, and he might be able to beat him in just Gear 4 then.
Why would he not be using Rio?
Because you just said he's not damaging him.
Because he can't do the bare minimum. It's just Kizaru's defense.
But no one has proven you can do that. You're just assuming Kizaru's doing it with like actually no evidence.
But when he can't defend himself, he bleeds, like you pointed out earlier. When he's off guard.
When he can't defend himself, he bleeds. Who does?
Yeah, Kizaru. When he's grabbed the second time, he bleeds. That's when Luffy catches him off guard.
He doesn't have to bleed every attack. He doesn't have to bleed every attack. It could just be an artistic choice. Oda could have written this.
Why would he bleed for a grab and not for White Star Guard? Wouldn't it be the same?
I mean, they're like very different attacks. Like him, like I could say him like.
He's grabbing him. I could even name White Star Gun was ants with speed and it still did no damage. He's already saw it coming. He can defend himself.
I mean, wait. So what point are you trying to make, actually?
That Luffy just can't do damage enough to do like any significant damage.
I mean, we clearly see he's damaging him, and he's not even using his strongest attacks. I don't know how you could even try to make that argument. Actually,
he's not damaging him though. When is he damaging him?
White Star Gun is damaging him. The grab is damaging him.
Only the grab does because it's off guard. Can we agree that it's off guard?
I'd say even that's debatable.
He's not even looking at Luffy. He just killed Vegapunk.
But, like, okay,
and
like
Saturn with Luffy. So why would he look at So why would he be looking at Luffy?
So hold on, let me get this straight. You really think Kizaru has more durability than Kaido?
Defense. Kizaru has defense, not durability.
You're being for real.
It's armament hockey.
So okay, let me get this straight. Hold on, I just want to make sure I'm getting your whole argument.
That proves it.
No, I'm just trying to make sure I'm actually hearing you right. You really think Kizaru has more defense with armament hockey than Kaido does with advanced conquerors? You really think that?
He doesn't use advanced conquerors to defend himself.
He 100% does. It's like word for word stated. Like that's what Big Mom does too.
Can you show that to me, please?
What?
Can you show that to me, please?
I believe that's chapter 1010. Like right when Luffy learns advanced conquerors hockey, like he's talking about like that's why your scales were so strong. Also, it's like mentioned with Big Mom, like she had never taken damage before because of her hockey. And it's like when they broke the Mother Caramel picture, her hockey dropped and they were able to hurt her. It's because advanced conquer. You might need to just review like advanced conquerors hockey. Advanced conquerors hockey buffs strength and defense. That's also like proven by Luffy being able to tank, suddenly being able to tank attacks like the drunken Thunder Bagua and all this crazy damage. He's able to tank these things now when before he couldn't do that. It's because advanced conquerors hockey's buffing his defense too. That's actually not even debatable. That's just the way the story's written.
Is there any statements of that?
No, there's a bunch of them, and it's just shown as well. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like you think, I mean, it's one of two things. You're saying you either think Kizaru with just armament hockey is like more durability than like the max durability of Kaido, which I think is a very hard claim to make. And then the other option is like Luffy's not trying. He's not using Rio. So, and I think one option is almost impossible. The first one's almost impossible to prove and unlikely. And then the second one, it's just good for Luffy. He's not trying. He could probably win in Gear 4.
Luffy in 1010 is able to draw blood from Kaido, but a much stronger Luffy doesn't from Kizaru.
What was that?
Luffy from chapter 1010 is able to draw blood from Kaido, but a much stronger Luffy can't for Kizaru.
Why do you think drawing blood's the only indication of damage?
Well, it's drawing blood and visible damage. It's the indications of damage.
Okay, I would just say like Kizaru lying on the ground for a second, that shows he took some damage.
Huh?
I'd say Kizaru lying on the ground for a moment says he took some damage. And also, I would make the argument that it was like narratively meant to show a draw. Like Luffy's form ran out right as Kizaru said that he's seeing stars. It was like meant to narratively represent that they both reached their limits in different ways.
When Kizaru gets up to feed Luffy not too long later.
True. I didn't say it defeated him. I'm saying it shows damage.
But is it enough damage to like knock him out?
I mean,
or to deal with him rather?
I mean, one of Luffy's weakest attacks when he's not even at full power. Probably not, no, but it still damages him.
Speed.
Huh?
White Star Gun was ants with Kizaru's laser speed, and we know speed is weight, so
White Star Gun's one of his weakest moves. Dawn Gatling's stronger.
Why would you say? Why do you think this, Travis?
I mean, it's just kind of common sense. It's like White Star Gun is basically just like a pistol, or maybe you could say it's like the Gear 5 version of rifle, and then Dawn Gatling is just like his Gatling.
And you wouldn't consider or wouldn't you consider the speed from Kizaru's laser to amp his power? Because weight is power. Kizaru says it himself in Sub-OD, or speed is weight rather.
It doesn't even matter because light speed's kind of slow in One Piece anyway. They've been light speed since pre-time skip. White speed. I'll be completely honest. Light speed's kind of fodder. It's not even impressive. The Pacifista's light beams are based on that. It's kind of trash. If you can box with like a 3rd division commander, light speed should be kind of slow to you. But let's go ahead and go. Like, we're not even getting into the Elbaf stuff. So let's go ahead and go to the next person. Who want to go next? Ryu?
Yeah. I just have a quick question. Did Kizaru and Luffy never had a fight in Elbaf, did they?
Nope.
Okay, so we're using a fight that they had previously, and they were saying like Elbaf Luffy possibly gets stronger because he had Haki Blue for fighting stronger opponents, arguably, right?
Yeah. Saying Luffy got a Haki Bloom, and then he's also just has visible more Devil Fruit mastery.
Okay. Yeah, so I agree with Gio on the most part. It kind of seems like, and I was reading through the fight as y'all was having an argument, him versus Luffy in the first place, and it kind of seems like Kizaru is really messing around for the most part. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of times where he's just grabbing Kizaru. Huh?
Oh, yeah, sorry, Gio. It's Ryu's turn. All right, what were you saying, Ryu?
Oh, yeah, but, like, it seems like, yeah, I do get what you're saying. Like, it seems like the fight is pretty equal for the most part, but it also seems like Kizaru's not really taking it all the way serious. Like, I'm not saying, like, he using, like, 20% of his power. I'm probably using, like, 70%. You know what I'm saying? At the maybe even 80. But it seems like he's kind of, like, laughing and joking, and he's like, oh, you're pretty strong. Like, that's cool and everything. Like, there's even a scene where he uses, like, his Sacred Jewel move, right? And there's multiple of him, and this is on chapter 1093 if you want to look at it. But he uses that move, and then he just spawns right under Luffy. Like, it's just kind of like he could just. It feels like he can just kind of do what he wants to for the most part. And that's just how it feels. Now, as for the Luffy damaging him part, I agree that I don't think Luffy was using real Haki for most of this. Is what it feels like for the most part. I feel like after he grabbed him, we saw that Kizaru coughed up blood, and that's when I think Luffy started to take shit serious. Especially after he spawned down and grabbed Usopp by the face, and he saw that, like, he could have killed Usopp right there. Luffy didn't know. You get what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, why not take out your ops right there? You know what I'm saying? Like, he had the chance to do what he needed to do. It just kind of feels like he's really messing around. And then Luffy launches at him. He blinds Luffy. It feels like he's not really doing much for the most part. It feels like he's really like fucking around a lot. Excuse my language.
No, you're good. And it's like, I agree with you. Like, the thing is, the reality is, in this fight, you can make a good argument that neither of them went all out, but Luffy just does do better than, like, he outperforms him in terms of overall stats. Like, Kizaru doesn't land any real damage on Gear 5, and then Gear 5 like tags Kizaru multiple times. That's just like a fact of the fight. And now Luffy's even stronger. And then you can say on top of all that. Yeah, and then you can say on top of all that, Luffy might not have even been using Rio. And then you also have the scene where Luffy's 2v1ing Kizaru and a 5 Elder at the same time, and he's still dodging Kizaru at point blank range. Like, this is the panel. Someone was talking about, like, Kizaru being off guard when Luffy grabbed him, but, like, immediately after that, Kizaru's fighting back. Like, he's trying to hit Luffy with a move he's never done before. He's hitting him with, like, laser eye beams, and Saturn's trying to stab him, and Luffy dodges both of them and then just starts, like, throwing them around, turns them into pizza, slams them.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the same panel you are. So if we're gonna be honest, right? For that chapter is 1094, the one where he punched him in the face with the star gun. The issue with that is that fight starts at 1091. That entire fight, neither one of them have touched each other, right? So I do agree that Luffy did hit him, like I said, but I feel like for Luffy, it was kind of like, I'm trying to get you, like, out of here, like, you know. But for Kizaru, I feel like it was really like a joke, and I feel like he wouldn't have got hit if he really wasn't joking a lot. Like, I feel like he was really doing a lot of joking around, thinking that, you know, Kizaru was thinking that Luffy wasn't as strong as he was, because he did say you were pretty strong. Like, he was like, oh, okay, you know, at the start of the fight, he was like, oh, I see why you beat Kaido, that's cool and everything. But, you know, it kind of felt like he was just like, I'm just above that. That's how it felt. And even before this, Luffy even said that Kizaru wasn't a joke. I think, like, right before chapter 1090, when Kizaru first popped up, he said, there's a threat here, and they're strong. And he was talking about Kizaru. So even Luffy's not treating this as a joke. You know what I'm saying? It kind of feels like he knows this dude's a threat. And when he hits him with the star gun, what's so weird about this is all we see is him get dizzy. And it goes like damn near through his head. So I would imagine if he was using real hockey, that probably would have did some damage. But it seemed like it just kind of hurt him a little bit. I don't know if like when you use real hockey, like you hit somebody in their spleen, right? Does their heart feel that, or do their spleen feel that punch? Because if he's hitting him in the head, I would imagine that either his durability is high as shit, or just like I feel like that punch will go through his head unless his durability is high enough. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, Ryu, it's just stated to do internal damage. Like, it's supposed to bypass durability. That's how Luffy was, like, hurting Kaido in the beginning, even though he wasn't strong enough to actually hurt him. Like, he was just bypassing his durability. So if people really think he's not hurting Kizaru, then Luffy is holding back. He's not even using Ryu.
Yeah, because I feel like, because what I would say is I don't think Luffy's holding back. Now, if we're talking about L-back Luffy, I could imagine that even if Luffy wasn't holding back, he probably got, like I said, Kizaru was probably taking that fight to like 70, 80%. Like he said, we're hundreds of times stronger than the last time we fought. You get what I'm saying? Like Luffy told him that, right? So I would imagine that, because like you said yourself, you think that Luffy's probably at like 70-something% of his power anyways to begin with, right? So Luffy's not even at his max, right? So I would imagine that when he did go to Elbath and he fought all these elders who he was bodying, by the way, I feel like he may have got his hockey bloom multiple times over, considering he was fighting multiple of these dudes at the same time, damn near solo. So I can say, like, I think Elbath Luffy would win, but I don't think it would be like I don't think it'd be like a smoke, like he just smoking, Kizaru.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think it's an extreme diff, but I lean towards Luffy just because, I mean, it's just the fact that like Kizaru did not land any attack on Gear 5, and Kizaru's whole thing is speed. He's still not landing an attack on Gear 5, and Luffy's just stronger now. And like you can also just make the argument it wasn't even a full power Gear 5. Like, because he gets stronger the more he laughs. So, yeah. And I mean, and honestly, like, Luffy 2v1ing a 5 Elder and Kizaru at the same time, to be honest, when I first read that, I viewed that as this is Oda just telling us that they're not on the same tier. Like, and honestly, just one last thing. It seemed like I've been saying throughout the stream, I think most Admiral fans agree. I think most Admiral fans don't think Kizaru is stronger than Gear 5. I think they think he can outlast Gear 5 and then beat him while he's tired. But I don't think most Admiral fans really think, like, if Luffy did his Bajrang gun, that overpowered Kaido's strongest move, most Admiral fans aren't going to say, oh yeah, Kizaru could just, like, punch through that. Like, I don't think anyone really thinks like that.
Yeah, I agree for the most part. Like me personally, I think, and this is a conversation for a different day, but I think Kizaru might be the strongest out of all the admirals that I've seen so far. He's pretty crazy for the most part. So yeah, that could be the case. I think it'd be still like an extreme diff fight just for Kizaru, and then that depends on, because we don't see them fight at Hellbath. So like the realization is like the fight that they had seems like Kizaru was playing around a lot. That's on him though. Like you're a combatant. Take your combatant seriously. If you get hurt and messed up because of that, next time Luffy gets stronger and you attempt, it's gonna be too late because Luffy's gonna be way stronger than you probably, or on a similar level to you easily. But yeah, I think I agree on the most. I think I agree.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying for the most part too. And I actually have to get going in like the next 10 minutes. So if everyone wants to just unmute and like just share any points, like if there's anything you wanted to say, everyone could just unmute, because I have to get going in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I got a question.
Oh, okay.
All right. So in your community post, I responded to it, but I don't think you ended up saying it because you had a lot of responses to it. I just wanted your opinion or your definition on real damage, because I saw you say that a lot. And I just wanted to get clarification on what you meant.
Oh, by real damage, it's like the only thing Kizaru hit Luffy with was like a paper cut on his face. Yeah, that's all he did. I just mean he didn't really like land anything significant.
Yeah, because I agree. I just think it's on both sides. Like when Luffy fought against Kaido, when he went into Gear 5th, I feel like Kaido didn't do any damage to him. He hit him like 10 times, and all we got was an ouch. Ow. And then a clear response right after from Luffy.
I mean, I don't know. I think like well, I don't know. I guess that's kind of a different debate if Kaido was damaging Luffy. I lean towards thinking he was, but I guess that's debatable too, yeah.
I just think if Kizaru didn't damage him, I don't think Kaido damaged him either. I just think Gear 5's durability is not highlighted enough in general by the people that read and watch the series. Like, I think the fight was a showcase, like post Gear 5th. Like, it was more of a stamina thing, showing like Luffy was really tired because of the previous fights, right? But like actual like physicality, speed, and strength, like I think Luffy was just ahead of him.
Yeah.
And in the Kizaru fight, I do believe Luffy is stronger than Kizaru. I just think just the context of the fight is different than like other arcs. It's not like Kizaru's like some main arc boss and he's going against like Luffy has to go all out versus this guy and Kizaru's trying to take out Luffy. Like, just the whole arc is not one of those arcs. It's not Wano, it's not Dressrosa. So the way we look at this fight should be a little bit different, I think. And there's one more thing I wanted to say, because I think someone brought up the awakening stuff earlier. Do you really? I know you can't really use it in the debate, really, because we can't prove it. But once like the awakening stuff was shown from like Doflamingo and like Katakuri, we all assumed, or at least most of us assumed, that Luffy would awaken out at some point. And I'm assuming you believe that as well during those chapters. Like, eventually Luffy's going to awaken because Oda keeps highlighting this awakening thing in the show. And eventually he did. And I just think that he's put up the Logias like since the beginning of the show. And there's been 0 Logia awakenings. And if anyone is to have an awakening, it would be like the original 3 admirals.
That's true.
I think it just makes the most sense.
They could have it. I mean, we don't really know what a Logia awakening would really be. But like, I mean, another thing you could say is like, did Kaido ever use an awakening?
I'm not. I would lean towards yes, but we don't know. But it's just he had a lot of information on it. Like after Luffy did it, he talked about your mind and your body and all that. So it's possible he didn't have it, but I think it's unlikely.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure though.
We don't really know like what the admirals can do. They might have an awakening.
Yeah. I just think we haven't got that type of arc yet, where like an admiral's the main villain, the main guy Luffy has to take out. Where usually we get a more stronger showcase of his opponent. And
I do have to add, interject on that real quick about the awakening part. Is that, are we entirely sure that, none of the admirals have an awakening? Because, I know they don't directly say it, but, Punk Hazard, something with their awakenings has to do with that.
It might be. Punk Hazard, them, permanently changing the weather might have been their awakening, maybe that's what it is. But I do have to leave in a few minutes, so if anyone wants to say any last things, I do have to leave.
Yeah, I wanted to say real quick that the admirals, we know that Akainu and Kuzan, they fought for 10 days straight, and I feel like all the admirals are relative to a certain degree. So I think it makes sense to say that Kizaru, if he was really taking things serious, he could fight for 10 days. He can fight against an opponent that's relative for 10 days. And because of how he was mentally nerfed, I guess you can say during his fight with Luffy, he just didn't really want to fight. And I feel like that played a big part in his performance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Kizaru would match them in stamina. They might just both be stronger than him.
I don't think the 3 admirals were portrayed as relative equals post time skip, as far as I can remember. That's mainly just a Marineford thing that the 3 admirals are portrayed as relative equals to each other in stats, and even then, Akainu is the clear above them entirely with how he's portrayed with stuff against the Whitebeard pirates and whatnot.
I'd say that comes down to personality, but in terms of performance, there has to be a certain requirement you need to have in terms of fighting capability to be an admiral.
Well, do
So
you
I think maybe they don't have like, oh, Akainu might be more, I don't know, durable or more strong, or Kizaru is fast. Maybe they have different attributes, but they're around the same. They're relative because they're all at the same tier.
do you
So
think
I'm trying to say that I get Kizaru. I feel like Kizaru has a lot more in the bag. We know that there's a possibility for an awakening. We know that he was mentally nervous. He didn't want to kill his lifelong friend. I mean, I think his performance in Egghead is reflective of his mental state, and that's why he didn't look as good as he did. I'm not saying that he's stronger than Luffy. I don't actually agree with that. But I do feel like he could outlast Gear 5. That's my point.
Yeah, I think that's possible. But I don't know if Kizaru has stamina on the same level as Aokiji and Akainu. I mean, like, he wasn't even in the discussion for Fleet Admiral. It was just between Aokiji and Akainu. And then we also know, like, it doesn't seem like Green Bull and Fujitora are on that level, but they're all the same rank. So I don't think being the same rank means you're the same strength.
We haven't seen much from them, so that's another thing. But even if you were to say they have half as much stamina, that's still 5 days. So if you want to say like a quarter, that's still more than what you can say for Luffy.
I mean, Luffy might be able to pull things off like that now that he has the mini Gear 4. He might be able to pull that off now.
Maybe. But we saw how Kizaru dealt with Gear 4.
Yeah, but I would just say that was a weaker Luffy. Wasn't full strength. He's gotten Hockey Bloom since then. More Devil Fruit Mastery, like... And he was damaged going into that fight. I would just say that was a weaker Luffy. Now Luffy's a lot stronger. And there's other arguments you could use, like that I didn't even use the whole thing. Like, you could say maybe he was fighting Luffy not using Advanced Conqueror's Haki. And we know Advanced Conqueror's Haki is a bigger multiplier than Gear 4 is on its own. That was shown in the Kaido fight because he went from getting one shot in Gear 4 to fighting in base form, just using Advanced Conqueror. So you have that. And then some of the people on the Admiral side were saying they don't even think Luffy's using Rio. So
that I don't think that really makes sense. He's fighting to save someone he promised to. It wouldn't make sense for him not to use it.
Well, then that means Kizaru's taking damage. But all right, guys, I gotta close this out. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Sorry if you didn't get a chance to speak, but I'll be having more debates again soon. So
never let this go, bro.
We can keep talking about it.
We're going to fight to the end of time.
Yeah, we can keep debating it. But all right, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks, man. All right, YouTube chat, let me open that. Did I miss any super chats? Did I miss any super chats, guys, in the YouTube live chat? I couldn't see it that whole time we were doing the voice chat. Hopefully I didn't miss any. Hopefully I didn't miss any. Does anyone know if I missed any? I'm gonna have to Snailium, you said I missed 2? Oh no. I'm sorry. Does anyone remember what the... Oh, Derek, you left one? Derek, what did you ask? I'll answer it. Derek and someone else. Sorry I missed your guys' super chat, man. I couldn't see the YouTube live during the whole thing. What did you ask, Derek? I'll answer that. No, I missed 2. That sucks. Sorry guys, Luffy donated. Yeah, I just don't have like most of my live stream equipment. I'm just doing this in like the most makeshift way possible. I can't even see the chat for most of it. I'm still out of town right now. What did Derek ask? Does anyone remember what Derek's question was? He said W for Luffy agenda. Nice. Yeah, does anyone know what Derek had said? I wish I could just scroll up and see them all. Sorry I missed your super chat, bro. You said, I'm not a huge One Piece fan, but I respect Toon Force, it's strong, and I wanted a Hunter x Hunter debate to see how far Illumi goes in fighting anyone. Yeah, I could do Illumi versus Hunter x Hunter and just talk about where he would like stack up. And yeah, Luffy, he doesn't have like full-fledged Toon Force. Like Gear 5 is inspired by Tom and Jerry. So essentially, Gear 5 is just a rubber version of Tom and Jerry powers. That's basically what Gear 5 is. It's just a rubber version of Tom and Jerry. And you said asked about Illumi's ranking. Yeah, I mean, Illumi's really strong. Like, he's stronger than most of the verse. Like, any situation you think Killua would do well in, Illumi would do better. And, I genuinely do think Illumi has the ability to, like, stab himself with a Nen Needle and go into an autopilot mode similar to what Shalnark does. Because him and Shalnark basically have the same power, but Illumi, like, can control more people than Shalnark does. So I think he would have, like, quote-unquote a Godspeed of his own, but it's not really Godspeed, it's just him autopilot mode, like going crazy. And also lightning attacks wouldn't work on Illumi because he has the same resistance Killua does. And he can like one-shot people with his needles, so he's just like a more experienced, slightly more dangerous Killua. Complex, you said, Lilo, please do a debate between Sanji and Zoro versus Kid and Law. That would be a good debate. Law was a lot ahead of Sanji back in Dressrosa, but they closed the gap. But alright guys, yeah, I'll probably do that in the future. I'm gonna do an actual video on Luffy versus Kizaru as well. I got a lot of videos I've been writing like while I've been out of town, so I just gotta record them. But alright guys, thanks everyone for tuning in. Sorry for the super chats that I missed. I appreciate them, appreciate the views, and I'll see you guys on the